Welcome back to the Red Bills Den podcast, and it's been a month now since we last done one. Hope we're back doing it regularly now. It's a depressing time to be a Manchester United supporter right now, isn't it? Coming off the back of Aston Villa 2, Manchester United 2, and it was pretty bad. About the first sort of 70 minutes, it was good, but then when you go and throw it all away, it doesn't really matter, does it? And we always try to look at the positives in this podcast, but it's hard to find positives this season. I think in the first couple of months we did it, but then it was sort of like, the manager has to go. The players are disappointing us again and again, and now it's pretty much as bad as it's been all season. Surgeon, what were your general thoughts of giving a sort of basic overview? What do you think?
The way that I would sum things up on the state of United at the moment, there's a American sports media personality, Stephen A. Smith. His like memes tend to pop up on GIFs and stuff tend to pop up on Twitter. He has a thing that he used to say about one of the American football teams that some way, somehow, when it counts, just wait, they will let you down. The accident waiting to happen, it will happen. And that summarizes United for me at the moment, where 2-goal lead, 76th minute. It seems like we can't lose this one. And then we contrive to find new ways to lose games. It's absolutely absurd. And I don't put any blame for it on the manager. I know there's a lot of people saying Rangnick out or the coaching staff aren't good enough. To me, people are just trying to defend their favorite players. My favorite players can absolutely take all the blame. I love Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford. All of them have not been good enough in various patches of the season. And nobody is exempt from criticism. It doesn't matter which player it is. It doesn't matter if I like them or dislike them. The squad bears responsibility for this. We've changed the manager. We've changed the coaching staff. And now we're in this situation where the players are not consistently producing. When we changed the manager, and I was advocating for changing the manager, I think before anybody else on here, after the Liverpool result, I was one of the first people to say, I'm ready for a change. And it was difficult because I had backed Ollie for the entire 2.75 years, something like that to that point. But I felt that, with the change, we could get top four with, I was expecting a Ollie-like bounce where a new manager would come in and then we would play really well for 3 or 4 or 5 months. It might not be sustainable, but just some really, really good performances and results carry us into the top four, and then the interim goes away, and then we would look to bring in our permanent manager. That hasn't happened. Instead, we're in a situation where we've gotten better defensively since Ollie, but not really. Like, yes and no, in the sense that we don't ship as many goals. We're not conceding 4 goals to Watford anymore. We've kept some clean sheets, but at the same time, we're also liable to give away a goal from 2-0 up and ultimately bottle it and end up tying the game. So it's a little better, but not defensively. Offensively, this is the worst we've played, in my opinion, since Louis van Gaal. And not like his whole tenure. I'm talking about like the worst aspects of, like, I'm talking about that November to December 2015, where people wanted Van Gaal to get the sack. That kind of football. It's
you're on about the 0-0s for like
the row of
the whole 2 months,
1-0 losses in there. That to me, this is the worst. Yesterday was a little better, but overall, this has been the worst football we've played under Rangnick so far in the entire post-Ajax era, apart from that time period. Moyes ball, Mourinho ball most of the time, even late Ollie ball. Even if we lose games, like with Ollie, for example, we were scoring 1-2 goals a game. It wasn't depressing necessarily, the play all the time. What was depressing was the defending and the results. Now we're in a situation where the defending is depressing, the attacking is depressing, the results are somewhat a little less depressing, but nonetheless, it's really frustrating being a United fan right now, because you expected so much and we didn't get it. And the only thing I can say to people is don't expect anything from this lot for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I apologize, I went on for a little bit there.
No, it's fine. Go on, I think we all want to just round up to me. I agree. I think Rangnick does need time, doesn't he? I don't know if you could hear my phone vibrating. Sorry. Rangnick does need time, doesn't he? But I think with this sort of squad of players, like it's so talented. Like I don't think you can really blame.
But are they? That I think that's a question we have to ask ourselves at this point. Are they that talented? Did we just overrate them all?
Maybe, but so many of them have shown really good form, at least in the last couple of seasons. And then look at his TV, he's obviously a world-class player.
You go back to last year, the Europa League final. We're going to lose this because Harry Maguire's not playing. You go back to this year, we might actually win some games. Harry Maguire's not playing. Like, it's so easy to flip on bad form. And it's crazy.
Darth, the worst part about that is if you look at it, and maybe since Rangnick's come in, I actually do think that Harry Maguire has been our best center back when he's played. Rafael Varane has made multiple mistakes leading to goals.
Lindelof has been consistently our best center back.
Lindelof, I think, is the other one that competes. I don't have a problem with you arguing Lindelof over Maguire, but I think since under Ollie, Maguire was definitely worse. But under Rangnick so far, I actually do think Varane's been worse than Maguire.
But that's why I said consistently, because Lindelof's been doing it for
if you want to talk about consistently over the season, Lindelof has been our best center back, no doubt. But I mean, in the last couple of weeks when he has played like pre-injury, Maguire was getting forward, distributing the ball a little bit better than he had been previously in the season. He wasn't really making defensive mistakes other than the ones that basically were induced by Varane's errors. It's one of those situations where the narrative has taken on this life, though. Harry Maguire's a championship player. When if you look at all of his like distribution stats, things like that, we're talking about a player in the top 10 percentile in his position. Defensively, yeah, he had a poor start to the season. I'm not disagreeing with that, but he's gone from being perhaps overrated to underrated now, which is the way with this fan base.
Yeah, that's fair. Regarding the results, so I know everybody expected a bounce. The issue is we couldn't have got that bounce because we had the COVID outbreak. Carrington was shut for 4 days. And then, as far as I'm aware, our training was staggered. Does that make sense? So, 8 a.m., a group like 6 players would come in, 10 a.m., more 6, 12. So they do it in batches. So you can't train properly when it's staggered. COVID, training ground shut. You can't train unless they went to, is it the cliff? Unless they went to the cliff. But again, you don't know who had COVID and who didn't, right? So I will go. I didn't expect a bounce per se, but I expected something better because maybe releasing that valve, as Resurgent said in our last pod, that sometimes you just need to release that pressure when it's just not going well. But I don't know. We looked much better in the first half last night, but then when we started to falter, it was, I think, when Matic got tired, and I will probably die on this hill, but I'll probably get panned for it. If Scott McTominay plays like yesterday, we win, because around the 70-minute mark, he'll bring on Matic.
I think you actually want to flip that. You want Matic did well when he was playing. You start with Matic, but around the 50, 60th minute mark, you sub in McTominay, and then you don't have that drop in performance.
Yeah. No matter what way you look at it, you could see the moment Matic starts getting tired, and for some reason Fred was so high up, it hurt.
Well, it wasn't the 4-2-3-1. It almost felt like a 4-3-3 at times, especially in phases of play where Bruno and Fred were in a line ahead of Matic in a single pivot.
You know, I reckon if Hannibal wasn't at Africa Cup of Nations, he would have been playing.
Yeah,
but
for who?
Even over longer.
I think he'd be playing with Bruno, Hannibal, and Fred.
I think there is a better chance that Old Trafford will be completely renovated to the tune of £1 billion by the Glazers, right? Their own money, than there is that Rangnick would play that midfield three.
All right, not that midfield three, but maybe Scott McTominay, Bruno, and Hannibal. I wouldn't.
I just can't see Bruno and Hannibal in the same midfield three personally.
You never know. You never know. But I'm glad Elanga started yesterday. He looked bright. Hell, I'm surprised Rangnick hasn't gone for the burn it down style after all the leaks that came out in the dressing room.
Yeah.
That's a whole issue. Like, you've got players who are rumored to be leaking who, I mean, some of them are obvious. Donny van de Beek, Eric Bailly, Anthony Martial, Dean Henderson,
Jesse Lingard.
basically all the fringe players who want more minutes. They're all leaking like crazy, and the club are in a tough situation because on the one hand, you want the leakers out, but on the other hand, if you reward their bad behavior by letting them go for lesser money, then in the future you're not going to be able to demand money for your players, in a sense, right? The work that Murtaugh has been doing over the last couple of years has involved, like, when we loaned Lingard to West Ham, they paid all of his wages and they paid 1.5 million I think pounds as a loan fee. So it's been about that kind of situation where we get some money and you pay the wages if you want a player on loan. And if we back down from that, it's going to be hard to reestablish that. So I understand why the club's standing firm, but on some of it, maybe we can compromise a little bit, where with instead of £6 million for Martial as a loan fee, we can maybe take 2 million and cover his wages, or like 1 million and cover his wages. There has to be a way to get some of these guys out of the club.
Go on, Dan.
That's also the issue of why we're not signing anybody, because we have too many players on the ridiculous wages, and our squad's bloated with too many players that don't want to be here. They're not getting played. Like, League Grant and Juan Mata are registered for the Premier League. Why are they registered? Can I ask? So I get Mata being registered, sure, but League Grant.
One of the things that comes up with me, like with our squad, is like the players that Rangnick wants to keep, that want to leave. To some extent, I understand wanting to keep Van de Beek and Martial, because you're saying, oh, I don't want to be short on outfield players. We have 4 goalkeepers. You're playing David De Gea every game, even the cup matches. Why not let Henderson go on loan at least?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to keep him. I really don't see the logic.
It's crazy.
I think what happened in that cup game, because there was rumours that he was ill. I think that's what the club said, that he was ill. But then was it? There were rumours that he stormed out of training.
I think it was the Manchester Evening News, which means the rumours were about as valuable as toilet paper. Yeah. Shout out to our favorite Samuel Cuckhurst at the Manchester Evening News, the purveyor of fake news, who didn't know that Scott McTominay was suspended yesterday. The man with an agenda that makes football Twitter blush.
The once reputable newspaper, now disreputable blog, Manchester Evening News. It's horrendous. People still believe it, and I'm like, stop.
It's basically like the Metro, except they're closer, so sometimes they get something right on accident.
You throw enough shit at a wall, it'll stick.
Yeah. Who was it that Luckhurst thought was coming into the training ground?
Oh, Shanderberg.
Yeah.
Oh my God! When it was what was his name? Ethan Bishop, the goalkeeper. Yeah.
There was something else as well, where one of the journalists thought that Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba were classed in training, and
that was from the Mirror.
That
was so funny.
Yeah, the Mirror. Yeah,
that was so funny.
Yeah.
At least with that one, though, the guy basically looked at another report. It was from a satire website and thought it was real. Like, it was bad journalism, but he wasn't the primary source on it.
No, but if you read the report,
their own stuff.
If you read the report, halfway down, there's a quote from Ollie saying, "Well, that's me fucked." Like, read it.
Yeah, you know? Journalism is dead. It's really, really depressing. The only place that
Reese, hurry up and become a journalist, man.
Yeah,
Reese, hurry up
it's depressing looking at.
I can't wait to subscribe to @ReeseJamesSport _ The Athletic. Like, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
we better get freebies though. JK.
Oh, you were
anyways
about that. But yeah, speaking of rumours, there was what happened with Anthony Martial last night, because Rangnick said he didn't want to play, and that's why he didn't turn up. But then Anthony Martial came out himself on Instagram said that was wrong. He's not going to refuse to play for Man United. He never has, never will, and he'll never disrespect the club. So what happened with that? Daft, your thoughts?
I've got nothing. It's a mess. It's a mess. Okay, I get what Rangnick's doing because he doesn't owe anyone anything. He literally came in. He doesn't owe anyone anything. Anyone at United. Hell, you got to strip Maguire the captaincy, right? He doesn't. He's new to United, not a new manager. So yeah, I get what he's doing. I don't know. Yes, it's weird because, but then again, Ollie never did any of this. So to go from Ollie to this, I'm a bit like, what's going on here then? Right? I don't know. It's all about he said, she said, right? That's it. That's all I've got for you. Because you don't know. You know, there's probably some truth in it that he probably didn't want to maybe injure himself and rule himself out of a move. But
he's not completely made it up, is he?
If we see him in training, something is massively wrong. That's it.
I don't agree with that. I think I think what's happened here is Ralph Rangnick has perhaps embellished a little bit on what Martial told him to deflect in the wake of a bad result, as most managers tend to do. I think the conversation, this is not source, this is just my feeling based on what I've seen. To some extent, you've had Martial say, I would really rather not play and take a risk of getting injured while I'm trying to leave the club. And then Rangnick's kind of turned I would rather not into I don't want to play for the club, which is not exactly the same thing. One thing is I'm refusing to play. The other one is, I really don't want to, but if you ask me to, I will. Like there's a difference between those two things,
A half-assed thing, right?
Yeah, it's like he's probably Rangnick's looking at it saying this guy isn't going to give me his all. He's going to be worried about self-preservation. I won't take him. And so it's probably just been distilled into this way to deflect. Or even because, I know his English is very, very good, but it's still a second language. So that could be a part of it as well with Rangnick. A third option, and if anyone is lying, I don't think anyone is lying. I think it's a misunderstanding. But if we have to say somebody is lying, Martial is the one with the incentive to lie, because Ralph doesn't gain anything from explicitly lying about a player in his squad. He's going to lose trust within the dressing room. He's going to potentially, if you're just straight up lying, jeopardize his long-term consultant role with United. Ralph has a lot to lose by lying. Martial, on the other hand, if he doesn't counter what Ralph said, it will hurt the clubs that are interested in him in the future. It will hurt his image as a player. So he has the incentive to come out and lie. And if someone is lying, Martial is lying, but I don't think anybody is lying.
Yeah, it's like a Frenchman talking to a German in English, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole mess. It's one of those things where it doesn't really matter in one sense because Martial is trying to leave anyways. Most fans, except for Martial FC and their deluded, horrific, blind fans and followers, everyone else has accepted that he's going to leave. He needs to leave, and that's the way that it's going. It's just a question of somebody paying up for him. Sevilla is probably not an option anymore. They went for Corona instead, which the way they phrased their announcement post was great. They're like, Corona is here. I was like, read the room.
There was also some stuff that came out like 3 hours ago in the Telegraph, so it's semi-reliable. It wasn't any of the reliable journalists we know, but Donny rejected a move to Newcastle.
That was Luke Edwards. I think he's pretty reliable.
Oh, I had never heard of him. That's why I was just checking on my phone. I'd never heard of him.
I think it was Luke Edwards, and I believe he's pretty reliable.
Oh, okay. But yeah, why reject it if you're not gonna?
Yeah.
Probably doesn't.
You can't be that desperate.
Scrap.
He's probably like
told that he's going to be on the bench too. Who knows?
Like, I don't think he'd be on the bench in Newcastle. Not chance.
I know he wouldn't.
Start. He would start every game. Why reject it?
That kind of team.
I guess you want a more appealing club, but sure. But if they're the only club going for you, why? Then
It's a
Joe
whole
proves
mess.
you can do it in the Premier League, because there was some stuff from Laurie in the Athletic saying that he's struggling to cover ground in training when like running and stuff. And I'm like,
That's been said quite a bit, that both Ollie and Rangnick feel that he is not someone suited to 90 minutes.
3. We forgot our manager with a 100% win rate.
Oh yeah, the most winning manager in Manchester United history, Michael Carrick.
The greatest there ever is.
The greatest there ever will be. You can't go better than 100%.
Didn't lose, did he?
Projected out, he would win over 26 years, 26 titles. That's twice as many as Sir Alex. So, to me, Michael Carrick is the best manager of all time.
Bring him back. Actually, nah, let him have his break, because he hadn't had a break for years.
Yeah. It's a whole mess. But we've got Van de Beek or Van de Bench. We've got Martial. We've got Dean Henderson. We've got so many players kicking up a fuss. There was that Di Marzio rumor that Milan were in contact with us for loaning Eric Bailly with a view to maybe buying him in the summer. How would you guys feel about that? I'm ready to let him go.
Yeah, that's fine. Let him go.
He's boy and Phil Jones. Now we have the original one ready to go, fit. So why keep him?
But in all seriousness, if we're gonna let him go, let him go. Just do it, and he's not good enough. Stop keeping them here when they're shit. No wonder we're in the fucking position we are in. When
you know what?
keeping
I do.
Shit. Yeah, go on.
I do rate Eric Bailly as a football player. It's just his injury record.
So here's the thing. People confuse being busy with being good. Just because you put out a lot of fires doesn't mean you're very good at your job. For example, I was watching a clip.
Half of them, the fires he puts out are what he fucking caused in the first place.
Exactly. There's this great clip from like the 90-something minute from the 3-2 from the win in Paris that put us through and got Ollie the job. I was watching like the last couple of minutes of that match, and David De Gea punches this ball out that he should have caught, and then PSG eventually like play around us and get a great shot on target, and David De Gea saves it. And the commentator goes something like, "Oh, David De Gea, what a magnificent save!" It's like, well, he punched the ball out and caused them to have the chance.
Yeah,
he should have caught it. Like he's the one who started the fire, and it's the same way with a lot of our players. That David De Gea does this quite a bit. I think he had 48% pass accuracy yesterday. There's a stat that I saw from, I think it was Kane Smith on Twitter, a big United fan, a lot of good stats from him. He was saying that Alisson and Ederson, their lowest pass completion percentage this season was like 72-71%. David De Gea has had like 10 games under 70% this season. And of those, yesterday was 48% pass completion, which is absolutely absurd for a goalkeeper. Like we're not talking about Bruno Fernandes trying to create things in the final third and taking risks. Like you should be able to distribute better than 50-50.
Yeah, that's fair. I was gonna say something else, but regarding if we offer Pogba 500k a week, I will fucking throw up, and I probably stop supporting United, because no, I can't lie to you. 500 bag a week, no.
I wouldn't pay that much to anyone in this squad at this point. Even the ones I really like Bruno Fernandes, no thank you. 500. He wants 500k a week. He can go to Real Madrid.
Yeah, there was some stuff that came out. Apparently, no club's interested in Pogba, and I'm like,
I think he'll end up at PSG with Zidane in the summer.
I think, because Mbappe will go, and they'll be like, we need a French superstar.
Also, Mino Raiola is very close with PSG.
Oh, Jesus.
They're very willing to pay him large commissions, so I can see that happening.
Hold on, isn't it this summer that commission goes? Rejects?
I think it's 10% of the transfer fee is what the FIFA limit is, but I don't know if that applies to free agents, right? Because there is no transfer fee.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm not going to work in that PSG team. They've got so many luxury players.
No. He'd actually be really good in that PSG team, because that is exactly what they're missing under Poch.
They've got a good number of grafting type players, like with Idrissa Gueye and the
Ronaldo, Herrera,
Leandro
but they don't
Paredes.
have that
Yeah, I
After that,
suppose in the French league it's a bit different, isn't it?
yeah.
Certainly in the Premier
The
League.
problem is, or I think the other reason why it might work, it'll depend on who they sign as a forward to replace Mbappe, because Mbappe's going around the
Vlahovic.
If they sign Dusan Vlahovic, I want to sign Dusan Vlahovic.
He's so good.
I've been harping on about him for a year, and he is just the complete striker. And if he goes to any of our direct rivals, I will be so upset. Like, either go to another country or come to United. Please do, son.
I reckon he'll go Arsenal. Arsenal,
I don't think he wants to go to Arsenal. I can see him ending up at like Juventus in the summer or something.
I wouldn't put it past City.
City, I don't think he's a City style striker necessarily. He can
just
be.
Remember, Pep's leaving soon.
2023 though, one more year still.
He'll. It's why they wanted Kane and Ronaldo. Someone to just stand in the box.
The thing is, though, to me, Vlahovic, the player he reminds me the most of is Ibrahimovic. And we know what Pep was like with an Ibrahimovic-style striker. It wasn't exactly ideal for him. He does prefer a little bit more of a technical, shorter, low center of gravity kind of player, and that's not Vlahovic. Although he's well-rounded, he can do that, but it's not the best use of him.
Yeah, no,
or of your traditional number 9, Harry Kane, Lewandowski. Even to some extent, this is a bit of a throwback for some of the older listeners, perhaps. Miroslav Klose, that kind of player.
Oh, what a guy. What a Diego Milito.
Diego Milito, another good one.
Oh, some throwback strikers here, boys.
We need a throwback striker. Like I'm Cavani's going to leave in the summer. Martial's going to leave.
Calvert-Lewin.
I love Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's had enough injuries this season that I would personally rather get Dusan Vlahovic than Calvert-Lewin.
Kasper Dolberg's kind of been on fire a little bit as well. Actually,
I mean, there's a lot of options on the table. It's just Vlahovic is available for relatively cheap.
What's the cheap fee? Like we go
right
cheap
now in January. They're asking for I think like 70 million euros. But hold on, it's going to go down considerably in the summer because he's going to have a year left on his contract. So you could probably get him for 40-50 million euro at that point, which is a bargain.
Okay.
And I would rather Vlahovic would be my number 1 striking target if we choose to go for a striker above.
I like Edouard.
I don't want Erling Haaland at this football club. I don't want any Mino Raiola clients ever for the foreseeable future. If a player wants to come to United, change your agent. Otherwise, go somewhere else.
I like Edouard at Palace. I think he's a really good striker.
Player.
Yes. I watched him enough at Celtic. Cost me many a nightmare. Scoring against Rangers. But yeah, no, he's a good player. There are a multitude of strikers that are out there, but it's finding someone to fit your system. Because right now we don't have a system.
We have several systems. People said we wanted tactical variety after all these 4-2-3-1. Well, now we play 4-2-2-2. We play a 3 at the back sometimes mid-game. We'll play the 4-2-3-1. We play the 4-3-3. There's so much variety. This is what there's a great quote. It goes, there are 2 tragedies in life. One is not getting what you want, and the other is getting it. That's what's happening to us right now. We got what we wanted, and it's not what we want.
Yeah. Tell you what annoys me though, like fans that abused Ollie and now like, oh, miss Ollie, bruh. You abused him.
They're the absolute worst.
I'm like,
I also, as far as Ollie goes, my reevaluation has just been, I think the rebuild wasn't as good as we thought with some of these players, but his coaching was better than we thought it was because all of that individual brilliance just seemed to follow him and his staff out the door. So to me,
I reckon losing McKenna and Carrick at the same time is bigger than we think.
Yeah, there were rumours today about how there's like a void when they left because there's like a lack of communication now between the coaches and players because they don't even know each other very well.
That might be a job.
Yeah. Go get Jesse Marsh. Please, he is
Jesse Marsh. I don't think he wants to be an assistant manager, so that's why I don't think that'll happen. especially for the remaining 4 or 5 months. And Rangnick's not going to get the job permanently. I mean, how do you guys feel about that in terms of what are we thinking for the summer? Is anyone kind of having that Ollie effect where it's like, oh, give Rangnick the job permanently?
No,
personal favorite.
No. Put him upstairs. He works.
Oh, I agree.
Upstairs. Yeah. It's known he works better upstairs.
I think we're all on the same page with that. Who do we want though for the summer?
I think the thing is you can get Ten Hag. Obviously he's a really talented coach.
I just don't think he suits our style.
Yeah, there's that. And then you can get Pochettino, who is also a talented coach. Maybe not.
Are you judging him at PSG because then that doesn't make Tuchel as good then? Because if you're not, if you're judging him at PSG, right? Tuchel failed at PSG.
And the thing is,
Emery, the king of the Europa League, when he went to PSG, he lost the title to Monaco.
Exactly. Judging a manager at PSG is nigh on impossible because that club is a lot of politics involved in there.
Yeah, and I think Pochettino has way more experience than Ten Hag. I think that's probably why maybe I'd lean towards him. And as Dad said, he suits us better. But go on.
My feelings seem to move more strongly in the Pochettino direction every day. I was thinking 51-49 about a week ago. Now I'm probably about 60-40 Pochettino over Ten Hag. There's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, for the hipsters out there, do you know that Erik Ten Hag isn't currently top of the Eredivisie? They are a point behind PSV Eindhoven. So that's a little
PSV is smashing it. I watched them earlier. They were good. Good, and it was only 1-0, and I'm like, what?
And they're managed by Roger Schmidt, who's a Rangnick alumni from RB Salzburg. But
what do you mean? I could see it being Tuchel. What?
If he gets sacked off Chelsea, I could see it being Tuchel as well. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, I think he would definitely be on United's list very high up.
I wouldn't put it past them for not winning the league.
For me, Maurizio Pochettino checks all of the boxes. He develops youth. He's not afraid to drop big players. Sergio Ramos cannot get in this team. He actually just literally told the press like a week ago, Ramos is fit, but I chose to go with Kimpembe and Marquinhos today. Just straight up benched one of the best center backs of all time. Doesn't matter.
You say about the whole dropping thing. The issue is that Champions League final probably forever haunts him for starting Harry Kane over a half-fit Harry Kane over a fully fit Lucas Moura.
So, see, that's the other thing that I really like about Maurizio Pochettino. He's been at Tottenham and he's made mistakes in the Premier League and with some of the game management and the cups. He's been at PSG and he's dealt with those stars and egos, and he's probably made some mistakes and has some regrets on how he would handle things a little differently. He's been prepared for this now. There is no... When Poch walks through the door at United, he's not going to be doing anything for the first time, He's dealt with star players. He's managed in the Premier League. He's managed in the Champions League, the knockout stages. He's been through all of it. He'll have won the league in France. He'll have won several cups. Other than winning the Champions League and winning trophies in England necessarily, he'll have a pretty complete resume. And with Ten Hag, and some of the other managers that I really like Ruben Amorim at Sporting Lisbon, I think is going to be one of the top managers in Europe in the next 5-10 years. Marco Rose could be a very good option.
Julian Nagelsmann.
There's a lot of managers out there, but Nagelsmann I think is a bit of an exception. But the other two, they haven't dealt with egos on the level of Cristiano Ronaldo, Rafael Varane, David De Gea. Hopefully not, but if somehow we pay him $500K a week, Paul Pogba. There's and the other thing is, our squad fundamentally reminds me of the Spurs team before Pochettino came in, where they were just horribly unlikable. And, Pochettino turned that around, and hopefully he can do the same with us.
So, regarding Poch, I'm not opposed to him. I like him as a manager. As I said, you don't judge a manager at PSG and what he did at Spurs was pretty good. They probably should have won FA Cup or something. But that everybody holds that over him, right? But yeah, he probably come in, and as far as I know, he is always been the manager linked with us. Always. The board want him. You know, he is their guy, and it's been evident for a while since like the Jose job, since Jose got sacked, or in fact even before Jose. You know, when Poch went for dinner with Sir Alex.
One of the things that sticks out in my mind, we were just talking about phones off the air before we started recording, and Darth and I were talking about how we have the iPhone Pro Max, and you know the way that I think about Mauricio Pochettino is he's Ollie Pro Max. Like he's that Ollie, but like taken to the next level and made better. And I think that's what we need in a sense, because he's more tactically astute than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think nobody really would disagree with that. He's a little bit better at managing his squad and distributing minutes and things like that. Again, that's an area of improvement that we needed. He's a little bit more courageous with giving some of the young players minutes. Then he's gotten further in. Like, he went to a Champions League final. He went to a Europa League final. So in the small ways, he's an upgraded version of Ollie. And the thing is, I remember watching Spurs play when he was the manager for them. It was just enjoyable. Like, it was fun, even if we don't win things. I just want to not hate the team. That would be lovely right now. Because the problem I have right now is I almost wish instead of Rangnick we hired Felix Magath. And that's not because I think Felix Magath is a great manager. That's because Felix Magath is known as the last dictator in Europe. And he literally, the kinds of things Felix Magath would do is he would have the players run up a mountain and then empty their water bottles just to torture them. And I kind of want someone to do that to this squad where they just make them miserable for 6 months the way they make us miserable. And the fact that I feel that way about the players on some level is horrible. And I don't want to feel that way about my club. And Pochettino will make sure that I don't. I want to love the players. I want to enjoy the football again. And if we don't win things, I'd love to, obviously I want to win the Premier League. I want to win the Champions League. I want to win the cups if we can. But to me, enjoyment is a higher priority right now. Like looking forward to matches again, just being proud of the football that we play. That to me is the higher priority than, oh, we can win 3 cups if we go hire X manager instead.
I think, I love this team. You know, I love this team last season, but this season,
I agree.
This season they've just completely let us down. Like, because it was Rashford who was doing all this stuff off the pitch. Everyone loved Rashford, and now they still love him obviously mostly, but he's not performing. And you've got Barney, even people are turning on him, which I think is ridiculous. But
you've got Mason Greenwood and Cristiano Ronaldo subtly feuding in the press. It's a lot. You've got people will say, Harry Maguire should say something. He's the captain. Then he'll say something and they'll say, Harry Maguire, we want to hear you talk. We don't want to hear it talk on the pitch. And it's just
this is PR or some shit, man.
Yeah. And then Ronaldo will say the same thing. Oh, he's won trophies. Well, fuck his trophies. I don't care. He's as much part of the squad as anybody else right now. You have to judge him as Ronaldo, the player for United, not Ronaldo, the legend for United. It's the same thing as people used to say about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that you can't judge him based on who he is. You have to judge him based on what he's done. And if you judge him based on what he's done, he's scored a good amount of goals, but he's also had some very average matches and caused tactical problems this season for both managers. And we have to be open-eyed about that. And he shares culpability. He's not, it really annoys me. And you can probably tell with the way they're getting worked up about it, that people kind of place Ronaldo above the squad and above, we're so lucky to have him. This is late stage Cristiano Ronaldo. He's not one of the best he's not one of the best, I'd say 2 to 3. He's definitely not one of the best 3 strikers in the world. You can maybe make an argument tangentially 5 to 10, somewhere in that range. And so we're not blessed to have him with us. He's blessed that he has the wages that he's getting from Manchester United, the long-term security, the adulation that he's gotten from the fans. And we shouldn't treat ourselves as like a battered spouse where we're like, oh no, it's okay, Ronaldo, whatever you do, we'll come back, beat us some more. Like, that's not the way we should be approaching this. And it really annoys me when fans do that. Like I just want to see all the players treated exactly the same way, and us try to play attacking football and have a likable team that works really hard. And then after that, if we win trophies, great. If we don't, at least I won't like wince every time I look at our players do something stupid.
So regarding our players and the squad, I don't know if anybody's seen it. It was Howson's ran 3 minutes of telling everybody to fuck off, because if you don't want to be here, fuck off.
You're absolutely right. There's a handful of players who can hold their hand up high about their attitude this season. And again, I'm talking about attitude, not performances all the time. Scott McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, Victor Lindelof probably, and that's probably about it. After
Fred,
what?
Actually, Fred to an extent, yeah.
I'll give you Fred. But that's about it. Like there's 4 or 5 players. Maybe I'm probably missing a couple. You can add in a few, but still, it's like 25% of the squad or less. Everyone else has had patches this season where they haven't been trying, they haven't been focusing, and it's so frustrating. The group of players is on the level of dislikability of that Alexis Sanchez, Lukaku, Antonio Valencia team that we had. Ollie, and this is it's maddening to me that we're back there.
We probably don't have time, but I wanted to go through every squad member and decide where you wanted to keep us out. We don't have time this pod.
No, another time. Yeah.
Another time we'll do that, because
it'll be insane.
Break it up into like segments where we do like goalkeepers today and then do defenders, and that way we can not have like an hour discussion of the squad necessarily at once.
Yeah, sure.
Possibly, yeah.
So yeah, goalkeepers. They're here. Keep us out.
So
yeah, I mean, at the start of the season, we were thinking, yeah, he's been brilliant. He's back to his best. But then I think we sort of started to realise that he's still not creaming crosses. He's still not coming off his line. And as Susan was saying earlier, it's about, putting out the fires before, or, preventing the fires rather than putting them out.
One of my favorite stats is post-shot expected goals minus goals allowed, which basically looks at after the shot is taken with all the factors considered, what would an average goalkeeper give up and how much have you been conceding? And David De Gea excels on this stat. He actually has the best PSXG minus XG 90 in the Premier League right now. I think it's like 0.4, which is insanely good. He's doing really well. But the reason for that is twofold. Number one, he's faced the most shots in the Premier League, which is an indictment of the team in front of him. And the other reason he's having that issue is because, and this is the best example for this, is the Ollie Watkins shot in the first game against Aston Villa, where I think it was Lindelof had a bad touch.
Did he run back on his line?
Yeah, the place where Watkins takes his first touch is closer in the box than where De Gea was initially standing. But De Gea retreated anyways. And the problem with that is now, because you let him get onto the ball, he's able to take a shot. And now there's some XG that you didn't concede, and so your stats improve on paper. But in an ideal system, if you look at Alisson or Ederson for Man City or Liverpool, you're going to find that the goalkeeper will just come out, prevent it. There won't be any XG because there will be no shot. And that's what we need in a goalkeeper. I like Dean Henderson. I'd give him a chance. But if you don't think Dean Henderson's the answer, sell both of them and buy a new goalkeeper. I just don't think David De Gea is the type of goalkeeper that is required for a progressive team moving into the future, especially with that 48% pass completion that I talked about.
All right. You want Poch, who was Poch's goalkeeper, with Lloris, and what is Lloris?
Yeah, sweeper.
He's not.
He does sometimes for France.
No.
Maybe more than De Gea, but
yeah, more than De Gea, but less than what you right.
He's not Alisson or Ederson, but he's also in his late 30s now. When he was younger, he swept a little bit more.
I'd probably sell De Gea. Yeah, fucking. You've got everything I need to say. I'd probably fucking sell Henderson too, if he's leaking shit. Like,
yeah, if he's the leaker, definitely sell him.
If you're gonna throw a hissy fit because you aren't fucking playing, fuck off.
Yeah,
I understand.
I don't know for sure though. That's the thing. You can't just have it going when you don't know for
playing,
sure.
Right? Sure, I get you're annoyed you're not playing, but to leak it to the fucking press, that's bad.
I think there's a boundary here. There's nothing wrong with being unhappy that you're not playing, especially as a goalkeeper where you're not even getting substitute appearances, right? You're a young goalkeeper, you want to play matches. There's nothing wrong with that. Even telling the press, hey, I want to go play. I really hope they sanction a loan move. I don't really have a problem with that either. However, if he's leaking background information about the team to the press, then definitely you can't keep him. At that point, you have to sell him. If he's just leaking that he's unhappy and wants to leave on loan, I don't really have an issue with it.
Just loan him for 6 months. That's it, right? Because
that's
then
what
you
we
can.
should do. But either way, like I'm not wedded to Henderson. I rate Dean Henderson. I think he has everything he needs to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world with experience. But if the club decide, if the fans feel that Dean Henderson isn't the right guy, I don't have a problem with that. I just also think David De Gea isn't the right guy.
Yeah, that's fair. But then if you're gonna sell both, who do you get in?
That becomes a challenge. That's one of the reasons why, for me, Henderson would get the chance next year. And if it after one season, if it's not working, you can sell Henderson and bring in somebody else.
Yeah,
Buys a little bit of time, but
De Gea's staying anyway.
Outgoings more so than incomings. What do you guys think about Heaton?
Oh yeah, keep him. He's gonna be my number one keeper. Heat one.
Heaton for me is a solid second goalkeeper. You can have him on your bench. We're good with that.
Yeah.
And then what about Lee Grant?
Sell him. Fucking tear up his fucking contract.
But yeah, there's no need to give him a contract. Just let him go.
If he's doing his coaching badge, just bring him on your fucking backroom staff or something. Don't register him.
Any fees or something.
Exactly. So for me, the way I would approach next season would be Henderson, Heaton, and then like an academy goalkeeper as a third option if we need one.
Kovar.
Kovar.
Bishop.
We'll just bring one in.
We have like a bunch of them in the under 23.
It doesn't matter. Your third keeper will never play.
Yeah.
So whoever it is, it's pretty irrelevant. But if it's not Henderson, I don't mind selling Henderson and De Gea and bring somebody else in. The other thing we have to consider is David De Gea's contract is up in a year and a half, I want to say, from right now. So the end of next season.
Let me look.
And he's on like $400K a week. So
and the trouble is,
I think we sell him this summer. I think we sell him this summer.
I don't think we'll sell him, but I think we should sell him.
I think the noises are around what Rangnick's been saying, what Ollie was saying earlier in the season, that they're really happy with him. I think he'll get a new contract.
I think we sell him.
I think if we do keep him, it's not the ideal decision, but fine. But you can't pay him this much on his next contract. He has to take a wage cut. You cannot pay David De Gea.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. By the way, his contract expires in 2023. I think we sell him. Wholeheartedly think we loan him out and subsidize the.
We have a 1-year option on his deal. Do you know that?
Yes.
So then, what I could see happening potentially is, if Henderson is desperate to go, we sell Henderson this summer. We give De Gea another year because there are bigger priorities, and we use the 1-year option. Then with that, just the 1 year left on his deal from the option, we try to sell him next summer, like in 2023.
I don't want to sell Henderson though, because no one at our luck. We'll sell him, and guess what? He fucking smashes it somewhere. What?
Oh, he's going to. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Henderson is an elite goalkeeping talent.
He was going to be our number one if he didn't get long COVID.
Yeah, he would have. He would be right now if he didn't get it.
And Ollie was still in charge.
The whole situation's a giant mess, but it almost. So as much as I think David De Gea isn't the answer, I don't even mind if the club says David De Gea is the answer. Just pick one and get rid of the other one. It's just constant crisis because you have two number one goalkeepers. There's a saying in the NFL that if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback, because that's the position where you need one guy playing consistently. And it's the same thing with goalkeeper. If you have two goalkeepers, you don't have a goalkeeper. We have to sell off one of them. It doesn't matter. Pick one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, on to Brentford, maybe?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. Yeah, I forgot we were playing.
Yeah. Great. Brilliant news. We're playing again.
Well, good.
Can we forfeit the season from here? How many points do we have? If we just automatically took a 3-0 loss for the rest of the season, would we be relegated?
No.
If not, then just forfeit every game and just hire Pochettino for next season.
We need another 8 points to hit the magic 40.
Okay, great. So play through the end of February. Actually, no, it's 8 points, so it'll probably take us till April to get that.
Yeah.
But get the 8 points and then just forfeit the rest of the way. I don't want to be in the Europa League or the Europa Conference League. I'd rather finish out of Europe altogether, like Chelsea
just finish 11th.
Won the league with Conte.
Can we just finish 11th?
Why 11th?
It's a random number. So then we don't get Europa Conference.
Eighth will avoid Europa Conference. and we'll be above that horrible Chelsea team. So at least we won't be the worst preseason. So I was having a conversation with a Chelsea fan. They were saying that we are the worst preseason considered title contender that like actually play, like essentially out of all the teams that are considered to be title contenders in the beginning of the season, this is the worst season by one of them since Chelsea finished 10th and like Mourinho got sacked mid-season. Nice. And they finished 10th. So I want to finish a little bit above that, but not in the Europa Conference League spots, if that makes sense.
So 9th.
8th or 9th. 8th or 9th.
I don't care. Do it, please. Because I can't be bothered with shitty random tournaments.
Oh God, I can't, dude. Can you imagine next season if we get Pochettino? He's just doing double sessions on every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
What you mean? The players will fucking cry if he's doing double sessions. I also think
get rid of about 13 players this summer. So
I swear, if we offer Jesse a contract extension or like Matic. Like, bro, let them go. You won't get money for them. Just let them fucking go. Let them go on freeze.
Yeah, there's just a sunk cost at this point.
Oh, we want to keep value. There's fucking not on Phil fucking Jones. There isn't.
No.
Like,
hey, I'll have you know, if you look at the average performance level,
he's the best
in their appearances. Phil Jones has been our best center back this season. Granted, that's a sample size of 1, but still.
Sierra Leone just scored.
Okay.
Africa Cup of Nations against Ivory Coast.
I haven't been following
Africa. Oh yeah.
The coverage here in the UK, like on Sky Sports, is absolutely horrendous. The commentator sounds like he doesn't want to be there. And you know when you watch a dodgy stream and they're showing like subs like kicking a ball around on the pitch, they don't do it. They don't do any analysis. They just show that. I'm like, wow.
Sky cut to adverts in the 91st minute.
Yes, I was like, yeah,
it's ridiculous.
In fairness, they were just giving the audience what they wanted, which was United fans not having to watch our team anymore.
Did anybody see Donny try and dribble? It was like watching two giraffes having a
Yeah. People say he's a winger as well. That just proves it.
What do you mean? Let's play him DM. It's not DM, but let's just put him there anyway.
No. It's like, you could control the game, but
let's put him there anyway.
There's so many players who need to go this summer. Pogba, Lingard, Martial, Grant, Mata, Matic, Van de Beek.
Cavani's going.
Cavani's gonna go.
Phil Jones, Eric Bailly.
Phil Jones, Eric Bailly. We're up to 10 already, and we just literally have been going off the top of our head.
Axel fucking Dallo. Sorry, Reese.
No.
No. You bring in Ethan Laird, mate.
Yeah. I wouldn't bring back Laird this summer.
Leave him at Bournemouth.
I'm a big advocate of the Premier League loan. I find that the players who get one before they come into United do better than the ones who do well in the Championship and then we keep them. I think it'll disturb their development the way it did with Axel Tuanzebe when Ollie did it to him. So I would loan Ethan Laird to a Premier League club next season.
Axel was at Villa on loan in the Prem, wasn't he?
In the Championship.
No, Championship.
Oh, really?
This season he was on loan in the Prem, but before that he played Championship, then straight to United. I prefer what Sir Alex did with Johnny Evans and Danny Welbeck, where they had loans at like Sunderland and they'd played in the Premier League before they came to us.
All right, bring back Brandon Williams as well.
Brandon Williams has. I don't know if you guys watched. I saw that game yesterday with the.
It was a nice pass, wasn't it?
He was so good. He was really good the whole game.
He's been really good like the entire season.
I've watched Norwich a couple of times this season. Brandon Williams has arguably made a case for displacing Alex Telles as our backup left back. Arguably, I think there's a case also for like one more year on loan, then do it. But he's undoubtedly proven that he has a future at United so far. Right now, I wouldn't sell him.
Brandon might be Stuart Pearce Williams. Just because he doesn't take any shit, he just throws people into advertising boards.
To be fair, with that Premier League load thing, Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham made it work. They were playing like pretty much every week.
They
were under Lampard. They had the same manager.
Yeah,
exactly. They went with their manager. It's a little bit different.
Also, Abraham was on loan in the Prem. I'm sure he was.
Was he?
Yeah.
Tammy Abraham was he had a loan in the Premier League with Swansea, but then he dropped down to Villa in the Championship. Then he came back to Chelsea. So he didn't have one between Championship and Premier League.
But yeah, he was still in the Prem.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I knew I wasn't crazy. I was like, hold on, he's been elsewhere. Reece James is a good show earlier,
not Tammy Abraham, anyways. But
anyway, Brentford. Do we have to talk about it?
All right, lads, we're going away to Brentford. Is it going to be 1-0 or 2-0 to Brentford? Let's talk about it.
3-0 Brentford.
I mean, to be fair, we have seen some positives in these last games, but we just sort of messed it up.
It was better first half, 100%. Give me that. That's all I've got.
First half was the best first half we've played under Rangnick. It was actually pretty not great, but decently entertaining. We controlled the match. I think Villa had like an XG of like 0.17 at halftime, which was pretty solid. Like we were doing really well. And then second half we came out and had absolutely no control and completely fucked it. So it was.
I legit think it's because Matic was fucking legs had gone.
Yeah, I'm not confident in any United match at this point. We'll see what happens, but I don't feel like we're gonna get a win. I think it'll be like a 1-1 or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Win. Oh,
I think we'll win.
Brentford are a different beast at home than away, Reese.
Brentford are really good at home.
Yeah, but
do you not watch Brentford? Or you've been watching too much Newport winning on the weekend? Because Newport won on the weekend.
I've been watching snooker today, so I missed it.
Newport won on the weekend against Harrigan, didn't they? 3-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the Newport County podcast, lads.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
Brentford.
So let me tell you about the home form. If you look at just home form Premier League table, Brentford are 4 wins from 10 matches, 1 draw, 5 losses, which is 13 points out of their total of 23. So I mean, they're a little better at home, but I think that's a little overplayed. So we've got a shot. Like they've lost 5 games at home this season.
Yeah, but who are the 5 games? Was it? I think the draw was Liverpool, wasn't it?
Okay, so they beat Aston Villa. They beat Watford. They beat Everton. They beat West Ham and Wolves.
Oh wait,
so no, not Wolves. They beat West Ham and Arsenal at home.
Yeah, that was the first game of the season when they beat Arsenal.
The losses were against Brighton, Chelsea, Leicester, Norwich, and Man City. Yeah, those were the losses. So basically, they lose the good teams and beat the bad ones, and we're definitely a bad one. So it should be pretty straightforward.
And the draw was against Liverpool. I'm sure it was.
Yes.
Yes.
Who did they get in the first game of the season then?
Arsenal.
Oh yeah.
Because they did the long throw.
West Ham, both of them are above us in the table. It's pretty simple.
So they beat the good teams, lose against the poor teams. All right, lads, we're going to win it.
No, it's the other way. They lose to the poor teams. They beat. So they lose to the good teams. They beat the poor teams.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's do this match because we're stalling because we don't want to talk about it.
Usually we do lineups. This podcast has been quite long, so do you want to do lineups or do you want to skip it?
We can just go through it quickly. I mean, it's the easiest way to talk about it. De Gea is going to be in goal. We're going to have, as far as the defenders go, what are we thinking?
I wouldn't mind seeing Wan-Bissaka, especially in away game.
I think he was going to start yesterday. Until he fell
and then he got sick. He's been starting the last couple of matches. Delo had been dropped.
He was sick.
Rang was like, he fell ill. Not much you can do.
Yeah. I think in away games, Wan-Bissaka might be better because away from home, Dallo hasn't really played well.
Because if you put Dallo against Mbuemo, Mbuemo's going to look like Messi.
Remember when Danjuma looked like Messi?
Danjuma's okay, you know. But okay, I think I think the thing is, if you're playing against the top left winger, you play Wan-Bissaka.
The problem here is You just said you wouldn't mind seeing Wan-Bissaka. The opposition are lining up with Mbeumo. We're not talking about going up against Sadio Mane or Raheem Sterling. We're talking about a promoted player, and we're worried about below defensively against them.
No, I was saying I wouldn't mind Wan-Bissaka. I would play Dalot.
We know you would.
I would.
You have Delo liking your tweets. You're a Twitter celebrity.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. The fucking Twitter famous. Go on, lad.
He is the president of the Delo fan club. Him and Mike LUHG chair the meetings.
Have you seen the meme of a Club Penguin where the guy's just sitting around the table? It's just Reese like, "Thank you all for coming."
Oh yeah.
And he's on his own.
No, I'm not on my own anymore. I've got plenty with me. Even Daniel is joining the fan club.
Luke Shaw, center backs, I think, are the difficult decision. Would you bring Harry Maguire back in or stick with the two that played against what?
Yeah, because Ivan Toney might have Lindelof on toast.
Yeah, for me, I think the two most talented, not best performing, we've talked about this earlier, but the two most talented center backs we have at the club.
Maguire and
Varane. So you just try to get a partnership going by the end of the season. Just play them together whenever you can.
Yes.
I'd go with Maguire and Varane, yeah. And Shaw is back, isn't he?
Yeah. Midfield 2, midfield 3. It'd be Bruno, Fred, Scott.
Yeah, McFred and Bruno. That's exactly
right. Yeah.
Wingers?
Alanga could play again.
Rashford back.
Yeah, does Rashford get back into the team if we're looking on form over Alanga? I don't think so.
Alanga could have scored in that game. If he did, then
Alanga did more in that match than Rashford's done in his last 5 appearances.
That's true, but I think he just brings Rashford back because
he probably will. He shouldn't, but he probably will.
I would put him put Alanga up top.
I think if he plays, he has to be on the wing.
Sancho on the right, I guess.
No, I'm thinking Sancho on the right. Actually, Greenwood on the right, Sancho on the left, Ronaldo down the middle. If he's fit, if not Cavani, and you just don't worry about
Greenwood up front, man. Please.
Have to, but
I think Mason Greenwood's done really well on the right wing the last couple of matches. He's looked like he's coming into some form this season. Some of the dribbling, the drives that he's made, we've not seen from Mason Greenwood in several months. So I think you let him continue on the right, and we hopefully Sancho on the left will fill in nicely.
There was I think he made a pass to Dalot yesterday when usually he shoots, and I was like, "Is that right?" Mm-hmm. Usually he shoots from there.
he seems to be getting a little better about that, which is nice to see. But so I mean that's what I would do. But if you want to go with Greenwood up top, you always can, Dar.
So score prediction, boys.
1-1.
I'm adding the positivity to the Red Devils Den podcast.
So good.
I am being positive. If I was being pessimistic, I'd say we're 3-0.
Yeah.
Also, my dog got massive now.
He's got what?
Yeah, he's massive, my dog. Last time we seen him, he was like a puppy.
Okay, now you're deflecting. Let's get that prediction.
Mine. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think we're gonna win 3-1.
Not bad news. That's just
Wait a minute.
Darth, have you been taking your medicine? Because it seems like you're a little delusional if you think we're going to win 3-1.
Yeah. Nah, because I think we'll get them on the break a couple of times because they consistently attack, and that's what catches them out.
Reese, what did you say the scoreline would be?
2-1 to Man United.
Oh my God, you guys are so optimistic. It's so beautiful, but also it's not going to happen. I can't imagine this team beating anybody at the moment.
All right, if we win, can we get an apology live on stream?
You want me to apologize that the team won?
Yes.
Apologize to the team and not you guys?
No. You're gonna apologize for us for doubting our optimism.
Okay, I will, but I'll just let you know that they'll disappoint you whenever. Like, what's going to happen if we do win is we'll win 1 or 2 games. You guys will start feeling good about it. Can we make a run at top 4? And then we'll lose like 3-1 to
what do you mean?
Norwich.
If we win 1 game, pants are coming off.
100%.
state of this club is so depressing at the moment.
That's how bad we've got, boys. If we win a game, pants are coming off.
Please,
Should have seen me
Mauricio,
on
come
Monday.
and save us.
Should have seen me on Monday when we beat Villa.
We have Middlesbrough in the next round of the cup. You know, I was talking about Louis van
We'll
Gaal
lose.
as a comparison earlier. Maybe he wins an FA Cup on his way out. That'd be nice.
Well, Ralph.
Yeah, that'd be
That'd
nice.
be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Anyways,
for sure.
Reese, you want to sign off for us?
Yeah. Let's sign it off. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been a long one. So if you stayed till the end, then thank you. You're very special.
Also, if you stayed to the end in the YouTube comments, type United. That's how you know the real ones. No.
Yeah.
I've seen it on like a YouTube comment. A YouTuber I was watching, like uploaded a live stream, and it was like, oh, if you're watching on YouTube, say this in the comments. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that once. It was like
Wow.
say banana, and then you have loads of people saying banana in the comments. People saying, "Oh, why are you saying banana?" It's really funny.
All right.
But yeah.
Anyways, and by the way, for everyone who's been wondering that we've been gone for a little bit, lives have changed, schedules have changed. We're going to try to be more consistent about potting on weekends and now moving forward.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching.
Definitely.